Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to be reviewing Donner Party. It's a porter, and it's from 50/50 Brewing Company out of Truckee, California. Thank you for joining us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. The three of us are back to do that once again, and we appreciate you checking out this video. I've got Jay. I've got Andy in the attic. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
We're going to have the Donner Party from 50/50 Brewing. It's exciting. Interesting.
Yeah, I have been excited about this one since we had the last 50/50 and with the can art. Yeah,
can art and the name. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, after we had Totality sold on 50/50's ability to make a dark beer.
I have several of their Eclipses in my cellar.
Yep. That was good.
Nice.
Nice and dark.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
I just want to take this in for a moment. Very good. All right. This is an American porter, 7.2%, 30 IBUs. It is one of their flagship beers. Tasting notes of dark chocolate. Check. Espresso.
Correct.
Check. Dark and dried fruits. A little check. Yeah, I can pick up mocha. And oat cakes. Might have to have some more sips so I can pull out the oat cakes, let them roll over the tongue.
What is an oat cake? Yeah.
I mean, oats and
I mean, I'm thinking like what are those, like rice?
yeah.
You know,
like a rice cake.
Yeah.
It's another grain mashed into a cake, into a coaster.
Yeah. Okay.
So 50/50 Brewing Company out of Truckee, California. It's a microbrewery founded in 2007. They specialize in barrel aged beers that are wax sealed, usually different color, denotes the year in the barrel that they were produced. Very popular, especially where you can get them. People wait year after year.
Theories. Yeah, I have some from the last 3 years, I believe now. Just cellaring.
And as mentioned earlier, we reviewed Totality by 50/50. So I don't doubt Ben will remember to put a link to it in this.
Challenge
accepted, huh? I did. I doubt.
And Totality was a wall of fame here too.
It is. Spoiler alert if you have not yet seen it.
I want to ruin it for everybody, Jay.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, it is very good beer.
Wanted to get back to the name Donner Party Porter, specifically Donner Party. Growing up as a kid, you hear about the Donner Party and, the mystique of it. And I decided to dig a little deeper because you just knew the basic of it. It wasn't studied in depth in school. So I spent over an extra hour, just kept going and reading. I was like fascinated. So the Donner Party is also known as the Donner Reed Party. And they were part of groups that were migrating out to California along the Oregon Trail, because all of the opportunities that people were told were out west in California before the big gold rush. This was more like land grab and do this and beautiful sites and things like that. So these groups of people started out from the Midwest, from Springfield, Illinois, as well as Independence, Missouri. And they went through the Oregon Trail. Some went earlier than others, but they kind of at different checkpoints and forts along the way, they would meet up. So they left in spring of 1846. It usually takes 4 to 6 months, or took 4 to 6 months to start that journey, or to make that journey. And you usually had to start in the spring to get through, to time it right, so that we went through the areas, it'd be a little drier in certain areas passable. There's no snow.
Hey, we all play Oregon Trail. Okay.
And that's what the game Oregon Trail was on. So they got to a certain point, and this was pretty interesting. And they met up with this guy, and kind of an adventurer, explorer type. And he was very misleading. He wrote a book about his travels out there, and he was claiming that there was a faster, shorter trail or route starting at this one point where, most people went on the northern route, and it actually took through Oregon down into California. And this actually went a little more south down through Utah and southern part of Nevada. He was wrong, because he took his route on horseback only, didn't have to pull wagons, things like that. And his route is actually 125 miles longer, and therefore it took much longer. So he was very convincing, and like the group, the Donner Reed party, different factions were arguing, and the one faction led by Reed, the Reed family patriarch, kind of went out and convinced everyone else. So they went along the bad route. Well, it was very rugged terrain. They were delayed by mishaps, and they caused the loss of wagons and cattle because of the rugged terrain. So they were delayed so much that by early November, they should have been much farther. They were unlucky that there was an early snowfall, and like almost record amount of snowfall, and that early in the season. So they got trapped in the Sierra Nevada at Truckee Lake, which is now known as Donner Lake. So they couldn't push on any farther with their wagons and all, and they were trying to set up camps at different sites, not too far apart. Some were like maybe less than a day's ride to get from one camp to another. And mid-December, some of the group set off in foot for help out west towards California. Rescuers from California couldn't get there until mid-February of 1847. So and this is mainly, I'd go farther, because we know about what happened when they were running out of food and rations. People from our international viewing community may not know about the Donner Party. Well, some resorted to cannibalism, and of the already deceased. But in one case, they had these 2 Native American guides that they purposefully killed them for food, because, of course, at that time, the indigenous people were seen as lesser than the others. So, and I was just reading about the horrors that some of the military came to part of the rescue group, and it was so unfortunate. And this one guy doomed them. They started with 87 people, and 48 survived.
Wow.
I just had to go into that. That's like fascinating. I'm talking about that with some beer. That's great.
Did the one guy that convinced him to go that way, did he survive? Do we know?
He didn't go with them. He was at this fort, just telling him about it, and he had to go off somewhere, but he's like, hey, I'm got to go ahead, I'm going to leave little notes about where to go next along the trail, because the trail wasn't well marked, because it was very new. And there were some places where they lost the trail. And yeah, I think they took him to court. There were threats on his life, but they ultimately couldn't convict him.
Interesting.
Because out then it was the wild, wild west. There was no real law to it.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Well, that's a good conversation for a beer here.
I know, this is fun. I'll just talk about that.
Yeah. All right. So Jay, you provided this one to the group. Have you had this one yet?
No,
All right, good deal.
I have not. I was saved myself for the show.
This is like a new leaf you're turned over, because normally
Yes,
it's
I see.
like, boom, boom, boom. And the last few you've waited.
This is 2024, Jay.
All right.
Perhaps.
I'll jump for now anyway. I'll jump in and go first. I think 50-50 has done it again, at least now the second beer that I've had from them. The one thing I wanted to read from the can here, Donner Party Porter is one tasty porter that will get you through the harshest winter. I think that based on what you told us, Andy, yes, it's a very tasty porter. Maybe if they'd only had some of this back then,
Maybe.
But I think all the flavors that come out, you kind of checked them off. I don't really get the fruit so much myself, but definitely dark chocolate, mocha, the espresso. I don't know what an oat cake is, so I don't know about that. But those three flavors really come through on this one. First few sips, as they usually are, were a little bit heavy on those flavors, and it's kind of calmed down and it's blended really well right now. So I'm about halfway through it, and this is fine. I like this a lot. 8.5 for me. I think it is very, very good. Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely there. It is truth in advertising, all the tasting notes. Rich, but not too heavy. 7.2%, but it doesn't feel strong at all. No bitterness, unless it's for the chocolate coffee tastes. But it's a winner. And I find 50-50 been very pleasing. So like totality, I give this one 8.5. Solid. It's a great one. Wish I could get more.
All right, Coffee 11J, what do you think?
Yeah,
It's mild.
It is mild. The first notes you get when you take that sip are the dark chocolate and the espresso to me. And it is still a mild coffee, like you said. There's a couple of things that I was going to note out of the stuff. I don't know if you saw the barcode scan there. I assume that's trying to mimic part of the state of California. Is that potential there?
I was looking at that earlier. I didn't know if that was supposed to be mountainous. I am clueless as to that.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Maybe...
It kind of looks like the upper portion of California to me, if you wanted to say that. And I'm not entirely sure where Truckee is, but that's the other thing I was going to get to.
It's Northern California.
Yeah, so that would make sense to be there.
It's got to be sideways.
The Donner Pass.
Donner Lake, maybe.
Well, that's what I was going to allude to as well. You said it was originally Truckee Lake, which ironic is, this beer is from Truckee, California. So
yeah.
they have a lot of ties and connections there. I think it's another
Clouds?
great offering. Who knows? I think it's a great offering from 50-50, and I was glad I was able to get this and the totality, and I look forward to the eclipses one day when I have those, and maybe we can all share some of those when we get together. But for now, they stay in the cellar. Yeah, I can even get the dried fruit on this one. I know Ben, you said it's a little hard. I agree with you. The oat cake, I couldn't tell one way or the other. But I'm gonna go with an 8 on it, just because of the espresso. It's still there. It's a great beer, and I'm glad we got to share it. I wonder if it would even be a little bit better the warmer it gets. But
Yeah, I don't know. Mine was actually not that cold. And it's been out of the fridge for a bit. So mine is mellowing out. Like I said, mine is blending really well right now. As it's even warmed up a little bit more. So fantastic. And of course I alluded to Jay not being, Jay being the coffee guy. He's not the coffee guy. He doesn't drink coffee at all. Never really has.
Nope.
Shame on you, Jay.
It's disgusting.
That is going to be an 8.3 for the Donner Party Porter from 50/50 Brewing Company out of Truckee, California. Definitely a really, really good porter. I think we've all enjoyed this one for sure. If you know what this is supposed to be, leave us a comment on that. I'm going to do some research here and probably find nothing. But yeah, if you've had any 50/50, let us know what you think of them. We've had 2 great ones so far. So definitely we're going to be on the lookout for some more from that brewery. With that, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, that notification bell. Check us out on all the social media links down below in the description. Come say hey in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. Our chat bot now has AI, and Andy is having a lot of fun with it. And if you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch, link is down below. You can check that out as well. Randy in the attic and Jay. I'm Ben. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Got a taco date with our chatbot.
Apparently so.
Yeah, you got your new AI girlfriend.
Don't know how that's going to work. So.